Hello everybody, it is Michael here from My Retirement Trading, and today is our weekly recap, the Coffee and Dividend show for the week ending October 10th, 2025, where we received $1,283.89 worth of distributions. But before I get into this, I must state that this is not financial advice or a recommendation, and it is for entertainment purposes only. So let's get into it. This was a nice week worth of distributions. Had $1,283.89 worth of distributions, and we're going to go over those in a minute. Did a lot of trades this week, swapped some things out. We're going to go over that too. The week ended up red, but that's the beauty of being in passive income investing, where you receive weekly and monthly payments because you still got income coming in. So let's get into the individual spreadsheets. My spreadsheet for my cash account and my covered call ETF portfolio. And this week, ending October 10th, 2025, we had looks like 7 distributions on here. The first one is on TSPY by Tap Alpha. I received $275.97, and my investment was $17,187.14. So that's $275.97 by Tap Alpha. Then GPIQ by Goldman Sachs. I received $237.02, and I have $23,270.40 in there. And the next one was GPIX by Goldman Sachs, and I received $189.79, and that was on $23,670.85 worth of initial investment. And then I had ULTY by YMAX. I received $184.47 on an initial investment of $10,902.21. Next one is YMAX by YieldMax. Received $16.07, and that was on an initial investment of $1,315.90. Then we have NVII by Rex Shares. Received $53.44, and that's on a $6,809.73 original investment. And the next one I just added is WPAY, and I added several of these. I don't actually have the cost basis yet, but on 50 shares, I received $36.70, and for a grand total of $993.46. Well, we're headed over to my dividend tracker for the crypto part of my covered call portfolio. And I had 3 distributions this week. I had YETH by Roundhill. I received $54.98, and that's on an original investment of $3,200.48. The next one is YBTC by Roundhill. I received $192.46, and that was on $20,103.88 of initial investment. And then the last one is by Granite Shares, XBTY. I received $42.99 on an initial investment of $2,440.51 for a grand total of $290.43. Well, what's new or what changed this week? It was a lot of changes to my portfolio this week. The first thing I did is I sold the rest of my GPIX by Goldman Sachs. I did make probably close to about $2,500 profit on this move. And I first got into it, I believe it was May 12th, 2025. But I decided to put it in some funds that have a little higher distribution rate than this one. So I sold all that and I added 70 shares of TSPY by Tap Alpha. And I wanted to have 1,000 shares of that. And that put me to 1,000 shares. And then I added 187 shares of TDAQ. And I'm hoping that pays pretty soon. And that gives me around 797 shares of that. And I added 100 shares of BLOX, BLOX, for more weekly income. The money that I sold, the GPIX, from the proceeds from that, I bought 400 shares of QDVO. And then I purchased 150 shares of WPAY this week. I sold 8 shares of VU in my IRA, and I added 100 shares of BTGD by Quantify funds. So now I've got a total of 200 of those, and that 100 shares is in my IRA. And then on Friday, I added 1,000 more shares of ULTY by YMAX because I've been enjoying the weekly payments on this, and I decided to up my game in it. And then the market crashed and went red. So, I mean, that's the beauty of passive income investing. You still got the payments coming in, no matter what the market does. And then the last thing is I purchased 50 shares of TSII by REX shares, and that is based on Tesla. I don't really play a lot of individual single stock or single stock ETFs, but I've got one position in NVII and this little small position in Tesla. So that's what's changed this week. I head over to stockanalysis.com, a great website for doing analysis on stocks and ETFs. I would definitely check it out. Anyway, I like using their comparison tool, and I put in QDVO versus TSPY versus GPIX versus TDAQ versus VU by Vanguard. And as of Friday, year to date, October 10th, 2025, QDVO has 16.03% total return. And then the next one is Vanguard VU at 12.5% total return versus TSPY at 11.44% total return. And GPIX, the one I sold all of, it had a 10.86% total return. And TDAQ, it's only been out since September 4th, 2025. So there's really not enough data, but it's up 2.83%, even with the red day Friday. So that's, I just wanted to show that. I headed back over to stockanalysis.com. Like I said, a great website. Definitely check it out. And I go to their ETF screener. And lately I've been buying more of the salty, and I just wanted to kind of like see if I'm possibly on the right track. So I inputted Vanguard VU, which is my largest position, and I put YMAX, ULTY, and QQQI, which is my second largest position. And I believe I'm like up to 3,000 shares of the ULTY now. And I got like 100 plus shares of YMAX. But anyway, in a 1 year comparison, even with that big red day on Friday, ULTY is still up 28.6% in total returns. YMAX is up 25.94% in total returns. QQQI is 18.99% in total returns. And Vanguard VU is up 14.64% in total returns. And that's on a 1 year. Let's go to the year to date. ULTY is still up at 18% in total return, with YMAX right behind it at 14.53% total return, and QQQI at 13.54% total return, and Vanguard VU is up 12.5% year to date, and even with that nasty day Friday. Well, I just headed over to my Blossom account for a minute, and I wanted to see where I'm at and future predictions on distributions and dividends. And right now, my goal is $150,000 a year. And according to this, at $74,393.90. If you haven't checked it out, Blossom is a great community. It's very amazing. A lot of good input and everything on there. I love it. I went to one of their events, met a lot of great people. But anyway, definitely check it out. I'm going to have a link to my portfolio in the description. But I wanted to show where I'm at right now. Anyway, about halfway there. Well, in conclusion, this was a very busy week worth of swapping things out, trades, etc. in my account. And I just wanted to try to receive a little bit more distribution rate and more weekly and monthly payments in my passive income investing covered call ETF portfolio. And this week was $1,283.89 of payments this week. So I feel pretty good about that. But like I said, I did a lot of trades this week. I sold all my GPIX for a profit. I added more TSPY, more TDAQ, more BLOX for the weekly payments. And if I'm right, I'll have to do a little bit more research and bring it out in another video. But I should be receiving payments every single day of the week now. And I upped my position in QDVO. I showed in the video where in the last year, it showed to have a higher rate of return, total return. And I added some more WPAY this week. I've got 150 shares of that total. And I wanted the weekly income on that. And it's more of an experiment. If it works out good, I may add more to it. I sold some Vanguard VU, just 8 shares to buy some more BTGD by quantified funds. I've added another 100 shares of that. And then I added 1,000 more shares of ULTY by YMAX. And I've been enjoying these weekly payments. And I got like over $180 this past week on around 2,000 shares or so. And I just added another 1,000 shares to try to get it even higher. And then the last thing I did is I added 50 shares of TSII by Rex shares, and it's based on Tesla. And it's a weekly payer, so more weekly income, and hopefully Tesla goes up. But anyway, none of this is financial advice or a recommendation. This is Michael's journey on what I'm doing. And if y'all have any questions or comments, please drop them in the description. And if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I will catch you all later.